All right, Houdale here, AJ Houday here, Stripes and Coffee, but I'm drinking beer today. So I got Stripes and IPA, like I've said before. Later in the afternoon, I'm getting my drink on, getting ready for this game, man. We got a Chiefs matchup. So as I usually do, quick little recap of last week's game or
Awesome game.
awesome game. It's expected to be like, oh my God, like how are we ever going to beat the Bills or whatever, and it's supposed to be a great game, and we kicked the snot out of them, man. That was not even a close game, really.
They always had a chance because they could score a lot of points, but I mean, looking at the outcome, they really they're never in control.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that said, "Oh, they don't have a chance going in there." I don't know why they keep saying after all this time the Bengals don't have a chance. They're a great team and they always have a chance, And even today, we have a chance. Anybody saying we don't is stupid. They're not been watching or paying attention.
So
we
that's
can lose
why
this game. We can lose this game.
No one should be treating us like huge underdogs, even if they don't pick us to win.
Even with our beat up O-line, we're better than last year. And I actually think KC might be a little worse, but it's going to be a great matchup. But anyway, offensive line was supposed to get dominated, but I think
that was one of the
Buffalo's defensive line was a little overblown because once they lost Von Miller, I think that they've just been kind of meh. So, but that was definitely a strength. We were running at 5.5 a clip. Mixon got over 130 yards, I think, like 5.5 a clip, or almost 6 for him. And then Pirine got a bunch, and we ended up with like 170, I think, total yards rushing. Joe Burrow was throwing dots. He was given enough time. And it wasn't even like this quick game only go ball thing that we had to do last year, where like we didn't have it out in a half a second, like a three drop step, quick go ball. Where you get it out as soon as you get to that back foot. Just throw it up the chase when he's single covered. Because you can get those out a little quicker than you think. But didn't think we'd be able to do any five-step drop stuff or a quicker game. Or like that intermediate game. But we got some of that. And when the pocket got a little messy, Joe Burrow was such a wizard at just kind of sidestepping, stepping up and throwing.
Some of the first two drives in that game on the offense, they were perfect. He was like, I think he was like 9 for 9 at one point. Like his first two throws, he didn't miss for like a quarter or something.
Yeah. But then we got a touchdown that probably should have counted. By the rules, it wasn't a touchdown, but so we left some points on the board there, couldn't convert. But honestly, that second half, they couldn't do anything offensively. Our defense was just wrapping them up, man. And Mike Hilton, oh my God, he was doing these blitzes from like 100 yards back, it felt like, and we were hitting home,
I think I heard that
see it coming.
In the second half, we've scored like the lowest number of the opponents get the fewest number of touchdowns in the second half versus us. Like we had a streak going for a while where no second half touchdowns for weeks.
Yeah.
And, eventually people got second half touchdowns here and there, but I think there's hardly been any in the second half.
Low scoring second half. We just Lou has been a master of creating a great game plan and adjusting said game plan when needed to fit how the game is flowing and ebbing at that time. So. Great game plan. We've been able to slow down at least, and in this case, shut down elite level quarterbacks.
And that's what I'm looking forward to in this game.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do it again. Mahomes has not had his best games against us, so
especially in the second half.
Especially in the second half.
And that was the championship game last year. They looked pretty good in the first half, and then they scored 3 points in the second. So.
But yeah, we ran in that Buffalo game to bleed out clock. I think that they would have been trying to score or had the game win a little differently, but it just we just bled clock and, made the most valuable resource in that game time by squeezing it away and not even worried about, not that we really went conservative, but just definitely wanted to.
Well, when you're in the lead, all you want is the clock to go away.
Yeah, and we made it 3 scores with that kick that was almost a touchdown. At any rate, here we are, Kansas City week. So I don't think our O-line will do as good because their defensive line is better. And they got Chris Jones, man. He's an interior guy. And their ends are okay. They got Frank Clark that was on that Legion of Boom. So, but I think his best years are behind him. He's not, going to be lighting it up. But on that, on that same token, if he's going up against Jackson Carman or Adeniji, I'm not sure if he goes left or right. But, if they don't have the same game they did last week, maybe he can feast a little bit. And we know what Chris Jones can do. So their defensive line is a little bit better. We'll see how they play it and if we're able to run like we were.
Well, that'd be huge if we could.
I always feel like this team, if they get the run game going, they're going to be almost unbeatable because if you got to start putting people in the box to slow that down, then Joe's going to dot you up.
Yeah, something I thought was interesting was last game, which we beat against them, is Mixon wasn't even there. He was he was out with the concussion, and so was Hurst.
It was Pirine dribbling people with that stiff arm,
Mm-hmm.
and he had over 100 yards. So we'll see how it goes. I think they got some young corners, and I think we can feast off that as long as we get enough time to find them. So I do think that secondary is exploitable. It's going to be a loud stadium, but this team is a bunch of road warriors. They don't give a shit about that. You think
the
Joe Burrow,
Buffalo Stadium didn't mean anything less.
No, he don't give a shit about that. Yeah.
That part doesn't worry me.
Not even really worried about that because I know this team is built of the type of stuff that can make that happen. So Mahomes being hurt, that's a little storyline. He's great in the pocket. But a big part of his game is that scramble drill stuff. He gets on the move and he just finds the guy, buys a couple extra seconds. And if he can't do that as well, it does hinder him. But, they might counter that with going quick game. And, it's because people are like, oh, he's hobbled. Send the house at him. Go at him early and often because that's how you slow him down. And, yes, quarterbacks, you do slow down by sending pressure. But if we can't hit it home and they're going quick game.
Yeah, I don't know how hurt he is, too. He might be able to run around a little bit, Maybe
yeah, he might be fine, too. We don't know. So I hope and I think that they'll take the approach like
prepare for
full 100% Mahomes, and then adjust as the game goes on based on what he's able to do and not able to do. Supposedly, Kelsey is questionable.
Oh, I saw that.
So
I don't know if
he'll probably play. I just bet he plays. But is he
limited?
Maybe not as... maybe he's not up to speed. I don't know.
If he is, Trey Flowers is going to be back, who's kind
Trey
of been the Kelsey
got back.
killer.
He's in, so he's one that was on the injury report, along with Hurst, but Hurst was on and then right back off of it. So, yeah, our offensive line is the only thing really beat up that coming in this game.
But he's
been gone, and Trey Hendrickson's got that, one-handed, but that hasn't really slowed him up, with the broken freaking wrist.
He's still playing through it.
Tough fucking team. I don't know what to say about that, so... but yeah, they got a defense that's exploitable, but that defensive line might be able to give our offensive line some trouble with, Jackson Carman. It was supposed to be a bust. Well, he was leaning towards that, but kind of redeemed himself last week. He didn't. Shorter arms, although he was big and powerful, looked more like projecting as a guard, but he sucked at it. But he went back to his native left tackle. Did really awesome last week in the snow and all that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe another week of practice, and maybe he'll be better.
Maybe they'll be at least passable, So
that's all we need.
Mm-hmm. And I think, with Mahomes, none of those people scare you, but there's so many of them, and Mahomes can just find them. He can just find them and get it to them. So Kelsey, like if we got to take him out of it and maybe watch that run game, because I think a recipe for them to succeed is to take what the defense gives you and run the ball. So.
Oh, yeah, people said, what's his name, Pacheco?
Pacheco.
I don't know how you say it, but yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people saying that he could be their key to victory, potentially.
I think whatever team possibly runs the ball better, it could be that. It could be this, like whoever gets the ball last. I don't know how this game's going to go, and every time somebody tries to predict it, it don't go that damn way.
Could be a one-sided blowout, hopefully in our favor. But
yeah, which I really don't expect that. I expect it to be a one-score game, but
we saw Buffalo. That didn't end up how we expected, so I don't know. I expected a different game than that was. I thought we could win, but I didn't.
Sometimes it's
expect
just your time, and I'm hoping it's ours. It's just we've overcome adversity this year. Went to the Super Bowl, lost our first 2 games. Oh, they're not even going to get back to the playoffs. Or look at the schedule they play down the stretch, and they're really tough teams.
We went undefeated.
They could play better, but yeah, they're in that stretch. They might not even make the playoffs, being a better team. And well, we just proved you got to play us. The new mantra, you got to play us. So.
That's what
those
Casey has
teams
to
should have been cowering in their boots, coming at it.
Yeah, why isn't Casey afraid to play us? Why does it have to be that way? We should be afraid to play them.
We were only 1 game behind them, and that was just that weird, goofy start where, those 2 games. If we split those games.
If our long snapper doesn't get hurt, that might have been a much different situation.
Joe Burrow gets the goddamn practice.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't get a emergency appendectomy.
Because we got the winning touchdown, we just missed the extra goddamn point because of the long snapper thing. I don't know. It was just weird. But that's all in the past. We're here now. 1 more game to get to the Super Bowl. It looks like Philadelphia. Doesn't look like it's going to be. It was 4 minutes left. Whatever. So whoever wins this game is going to Philadelphia. I am hoping it is the Cincinnati Bengals. I have a lot of faith. So Houday, Stripes and Coffee, a.k.a. IPA, out.